Faki Mahamat is in the country and this morning met the National Super Alliance team led by Raila Odinga. Top on the agenda of the meeting was the country's preparedness for the general election and willingness of the political outfits to support a free and fair process. Mr. Mahamat is in Kenya ahead of the AU election observer team, which is expected to meet President Uhuru Kenyatta tomorrow.
Ourselves as NASA have said that we will ensure that our supporters do not engage in any activities which could undermine peace in our country in the future. So we thank the AU for the concerns and the interest that they are taking in our elections and elections all over the continent. We think that this is how it should be.
Des élections libres, transparentes et crédibles et surtout paisibles dans ce pays.
This is the first part of our program that we've met with His Excellency. Our program also includes a visit to other institutions and also a meeting with the President of the Republic tomorrow. The purpose and objective of the African Union is to come here and support the people of Kenya, support and talk with the political actors of the country so that there be peaceful, transparent, free and fair elections in the country.
And Mark Namosa was following that story for us. That AU team, of course, led by the chairperson, and now joins us to just tell us what was discussed. Mark, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, the AU chairperson is supposed to meet both sides of the political divide, of course, here on an election observer mission. Maybe what were some of the highlights of today's meeting with the opposition leader?
Top on the agenda, Ben, was a free and fair election, and of course, based on our past elections that have had some form of conflict in one way or the other, top of the agenda was trying to make sure that we have elections that are free, fair, and peaceful, and most importantly, an election that is credible and accepted or acceptable internationally. Remember, AU is an international body in charge of African affairs, and that is one of the things that they were looking forward to, trying to make sure that our elections will be something that is credible internationally, not just locally.
All right. What is expected to be on the agenda? He is also expected to meet the President of Kenyatta. Obviously, the same agenda. Anything else that we expect ahead of the meeting with the President? Ben, looking at our political developments based on our preparedness towards elections, remember IEBC had planned that ballot materials will be ready starting from 25th of July, and the deadline is 2nd of August. And looking at the intrigues around the courts, around the political divide, you can see that more or less the process has been scuttled. But one of the things that the AU delegation is looking forward to is try to bring a resolution to the impasse that is at the moment, the courts, what the politicians are saying on both sides, and how the IEBC, right now it is like a besieged institution, how that tension can be eased. All right, so today it's 19 days to the election. The presidential ballot papers are still not printed. There's a dispute about that. We're expecting the ruling by the Court of Appeal tomorrow. What is the view of the AU chairperson in terms of the country's preparedness? Are they confident?
One of the things that they're a bit careful concerning how they approach the players within the political arena, as well as the parties that are involved in the electoral process, as well as the electoral body and the political players. So they are trying to do their work in a sure-footed way. They are going slow. So one of the most important steps they have used in their strategy is trying to speak to one player at a time, so that when they have spoken to all those parties, they can be able to come to a middle ground for all of them. So essentially they want to ease the tension, come to a situation in which that elections can be done under a situation that is favorable to all players. But remember also, Raila Odinga, the NASA presidential candidate, has been expressing some of the grievances that he feels he is being exposed to. For instance, he is opposed to the zoning off of some areas by the security machinery in the country as possible political hotspots during the elections. And perceivably, you could say that these regions are those ones that are perceived to be his strongholds. He has also been speaking, or today he spoke also about the alleged use of state machinery for campaigns by government-leaning side. So these are some of the things that the AU mission has been gathering and will be gathering and will look to resolve whether those allegations are really hold water or they don't.
And finally, we've seen the AU and other observer missions on elections on the continent before, in Tanzania in 2015, last year in Uganda, and they have been called toothless dogs. How vocal do you expect the AU particularly, maybe, do they give an indication of how vocal they intend to be on the Kenyan election?
Now, Ben, if we analyze the geopolitical importance of Kenya in terms of conflict resolution, if you look at the Horn of Africa and the Great Lakes region, Kenya seems to, for a very long time, been doing the work of the OAU as well as the AU. For instance, the Sudan issue, the Somali crisis. Right. AU is looking forward towards making sure that Kenya's own electoral process does not get bungled like it happened in 2007 and 2008. So they're looking to, we can say that they're keen on saving face, because look at the Sudanese crisis. They haven't been able to solve that, and Somalia is also still burning or simmering. So they're looking at the Kenyan situation as a case scenario where they can save face and gain international credibility. Right. So we expect them to be really firm on the Kenyan issue.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Mark Namwasa has been keeping an eye on that for you, and will continue to keep an eye on that. The AU chairperson, Musa Mohammed, in the country ahead of the AU election observer mission that is expected to meet the President Uhuru Kenyatta tomorrow. Now, the first consignment of